After Grant Ellis said farewell to Alishia Gupta in episode 2 of the reality dating series, The Bachelor season 29 contestant hinted at a potential Bachelor in Paradise season 10 debut. Grant, a now 31-year-old day trader from Newark, New Jersey, and Alishia, an interior designer from Tampa, Florida, who is now 30 years old, had a close relationship on the night of The Bachelor season 29 premiere. He even gave her his season opening kiss. But in the second episode, Grant sent Alishia home after their spark swiftly faded. After Grant Ellis said farewell to Alishia Gupta in episode 2 of the reality dating series, The Bachelor season 29 contestant hinted at a potential Bachelor in Paradise season 10 debut. Alishia shared her thoughts on her Bachelor season 29 experience on Instagram, adding that she hoped to continue her search for love on Bachelor in Paradise season 10. Alishia posted a rotating collection of photos, including stills and behind-the-scenes photos from the show, including one from the group date at the basketball game when she played for the Yellow team. The fact that Alishia is already anticipating Bachelor in Paradise season 10 is thrilling. Alishia appeared to be the frontrunner to capture Grant's affection after her charming limousine arrival, during which she and Grant exchanged wishes on a genie lamp and he gave her his first kiss of the season. He sent Alishia home, nevertheless, since he felt more connected to other ladies in episode 2. Alishia's desire to continue her adventure in paradise and her unwavering faith in love are admirable, nevertheless. More people than ever are watching reality TV. These are a few of the top reality TV series available for streaming or viewing at the moment, while there are many more to pick from. Due to the show's 2024 one-year break from production. As a result, all of the competitors from the seasons of Joey Graziadei's Bachelor, Jen Tran's Bachelorette, Grant's Bachelor, and the forthcoming Bachelorette season 22 will be able to visit the beach at last. Two potential love partners for Alishia are Jen's candidates, Jonathan Johnson and Hakeem Moulton, who have already been announced for season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. Former Bachelor in Paradise candidates are likely to return for another opportunity to find love. Alishia Gupta, a contestant on The Bachelor season 29, posing outside. Alishia proved to be the ideal Bachelor in Paradise contestant on season 29 of The Bachelor. Alishia was among those who spoke up and declared that she would not treat her fellow candidates in the same way after Zoe McGrady took Grant away for some one-on-one time during the group date. But when she spoke her thoughts, she did so in a kind and gentle manner, demonstrating that she is a girl's girl who would stand by her fellow competitors as they all looked for love on the beach. One of Bachelor in Paradise's greatest aspects, aside from romantic relationships, is the friendships. Grant Ellis, the leading male on Bachelor S29, appeared to lack the emotional intelligence necessary to find love, as seen by his struggles in episode 2. Alishia is determined to discover genuine love despite the fact that she was unable to find love with Grant. She is deserving of another opportunity to meet her true love. I hope Alishia still has her genie lamp so she can make a wish and actually compete in season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. Brianna Everly had always believed that love was more than a fairy tale. She was a firm believer in serendipity, in the idea that sometimes life's most meaningful moments came when you least expected them. For years, she'd lived in a small town in Oregon, where the daily routine of her job at a local bookstore felt comforting and predictable. But when she signed up for The Bachelor season 29, Brianna had set aside her small-town life and embraced a leap into the unknown. She wanted something different. Something extraordinary. When Brianna first appeared on the show, she felt the giddy thrill of anticipation. As she strutted onto the luxurious set of the Bachelor mansion in her shimmering silver gown, she knew the spotlight was now on her. The Bachelor, Grant Ellis, was tall, handsome, with a natural charm that made every woman in the room feel seen. There was an immediate chemistry, a spark between Brianna and Grant that felt undeniable. But as the days wore on, the pressure of the competition began to take its toll. Every woman had a story to tell, a reason they believed they were the one meant for Grant. And Brianna's story was no different. She had endured her fair share of heartbreak, and the thought of opening herself up again was daunting. But as Grant spent time with the women in the house, Brianna believed she was slowly beginning to carve out a place in his heart. She felt a growing connection, one that felt unique, something that stood out among the sea of blossoming relationships vying for attention. Yet, as the season progressed, Brianna found herself caught in an unspoken competition with the other contestants. Tensions had risen. A sense of rivalry grew between the women, with some clearly eager to outshine others. And Brianna had an inkling that Grant's interest in her wasn't as deep as she had once thought. Perhaps it was the fleeting nature of their conversations, or maybe it was the way Grant's eyes would linger just a second longer on another woman. Whatever the reason, Brianna began to question if she was truly in the running for Grant's heart. Then came the moment that would change everything. The cocktail party was a whirlwind of nervous energy and tense conversations. Brianna stood in the corner, talking to a few other women, but her eyes couldn't help but drift toward Grant. When the moment finally came, and it was time for Grant to hand out the roses, Brianna held her breath. But when he called out another name, one that wasn't hers, her heart sank. She stood frozen, a little disoriented, as the reality of her departure sunk in. As Grant sent her home, Brianna couldn't help but wonder if she had been wrong all along. Had she misread the connection between them? Had she let her own insecurities cloud her judgment? Walking out of the mansion, Brianna was a mix of emotions, disappointment, yes, but also relief. She had come to realize that the idea of finding true love in this fast-paced, high-pressure environment may have been more of a fantasy than reality. But little did Brianna know, her journey was far from over. Chapter 2: The Aftermath. As Brianna exited the gates of the mansion, the first wave of emotions hit her. She was disappointed, yes, but she was also curious. Curious about what was to come next. The road to love was never linear, and if there was anything The Bachelor had taught her, it was that life had a way of throwing curveballs when you least expected it. Back in Oregon, Brianna took some time for herself. The intense whirlwind of emotions from the show had left her feeling somewhat drained. She didn't regret her decision to go on the show, but she had come to understand the complexities of reality TV and dating in such an artificial environment. But there was one thing that kept her mind occupied: Bachelor in Paradise. For many contestants, Bachelor in Paradise was an opportunity for a second chance at love. It was the place where connections, friendships, and even unexpected romances flourished. Brianna had watched every season of the show, and though she had never considered it an option for herself, she couldn't deny that the idea of returning to the world of reality TV, with fewer rules and a lot more fun, was tempting. She had seen how Ellis had formed connections with other women in the mansion, and while it hurt, she couldn't help but wonder if Bachelor in Paradise could offer her a chance to meet someone who truly understood her, someone who didn't feel the weight of competition and cameras. As days passed, Brianna began to see the social media chatter about her departure from The Bachelor. Fans were still discussing her brief time on the show, and some even speculated that she might be the perfect fit for Bachelor in Paradise. She hadn't thought about it much at first, but the more she scrolled through her messages, the more the idea seemed to stick in her mind. One night, as she sipped on a glass of wine in her living room, Brianna scrolled through her Instagram DMs. She saw a message from one of her fellow contestants, Kendall. Kendall had made it to the final few episodes of The Bachelor and had forged a close bond with Brianna during their time together. Her message was simple but telling. "Have you considered Bachelor in Paradise? We'd love to see you on the beach." Brianna chuckled, replying quickly, "Honestly, I haven't thought much about it. But now that you mention it, who knows?" She didn't give it much more thought that evening, but over the next few days, the idea lingered in the back of her mind. What if Bachelor in Paradise was the second chance she needed? What if it was a place where real, unforced connections could form, without the constraints of a rose ceremony or an elimination every week? Chapter 3: Teasing the Fans. It didn't take long for Brianna to realize that the fans wanted more. Her departure from The Bachelor hadn't been the end of her journey, it had only been the beginning. Brianna had amassed a loyal following on social media, with fans who were curious about her next move. They sent her messages of support and encouragement, urging her to take another shot at love. The idea of Bachelor in Paradise became a central talking point. Brianna would receive comments on her posts asking, "Are you going to be on Bachelor in Paradise? Will we see you on the beach this summer?" At first, Brianna would laugh it off. She was focused on enjoying the present moment, and the idea of returning to reality TV felt like a distant thought. But after a few weeks of teasing messages and playful comments from her fans, Brianna decided to have a little fun with it. One evening, she posted a picture of herself on Instagram with a beach background, looking carefree and radiant. The caption was simple, yet intriguing. Who knows what the future holds? #Bachelor in Paradise? The response was immediate. Her followers flooded the comments section with excitement. "Brianna, you're perfect for paradise," one fan wrote. Another commented, "If you're going to the beach, I'm tuning in for sure." Brianna smiled at the attention, but she didn't let herself get carried away with the idea. She wasn't sure what the future held, and though the Bachelor in Paradise rumors were fun to entertain, she wanted to be cautious. She didn't want to give anyone false hope, or get her own hopes up. Chapter 4: The Decision. As the weeks passed, Brianna continued to tease her followers, keeping them on their toes. Each cryptic post, each playful comment about Bachelor in Paradise, only fueled the excitement. But deep down, Brianna knew the decision was hers to make. Was she ready to return to reality TV, knowing that the cameras would be on her once again? Would Bachelor in Paradise provide the opportunity for real connections, or would it just be another game of elimination? And more importantly, was she ready to put herself back in a position where love could be found, or lost? Brianna spent several weeks reflecting on the offer. She reached out to former contestants from The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise for advice. She spoke to Kendall, who had encouraged her to join, as well as others who had walked the same path. The consensus was clear: Bachelor in Paradise could be a chance to meet someone who truly understood what it meant to navigate life under the intense spotlight. After weeks of contemplation, Brianna decided to take the plunge. She officially announced to her followers that she would be joining Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. The fans erupted in excitement. Brianna's journey was far from over, it was just beginning. Chapter 5: New Beginnings. Brianna entered Bachelor in Paradise with a renewed sense of purpose. This wasn't about competition or who could win Grant's heart, it was about finding someone who understood her, someone she could build a real connection with. It wasn't about perfection, it was about authenticity. As the days unfolded and new relationships blossomed on the beach, Brianna was excited to meet the men and women who had come to Paradise in search of love. She wasn't sure who would be her match, but she was ready to embrace the experience with open arms. It wasn't just about finding love, it was about finding herself in the process. And so, as Brianna made her way down the sandy shores of Bachelor in Paradise, her heart was full of hope for what the future would